180!
Luke, here we are at the O2. The defence of the title really starts tomorrow. You've done the hard work. How are you feeling about this first major defence of the title?
Yeah, it's been a good 16-week campaign, but like you said, that's all. Well, as I say, it's out the window now. You're here. I finished first once again, and now I just can't wait.
Having dominated the league phase like you have, would it be a disaster now if you don't win it, considering you've been the best player throughout the whole 16 weeks?
Yeah, obviously the stats are there to be shown. I've dominated in many ways. The averages, 180s, some plus checkouts, but it's down to one night. It's down to obviously first is the semi-final against Gez. But for myself, I just want to win that semi-final, make sure that I'm in the final back to back.
That game against Gezi, he's got a good record over you, but he could have missed you last week. Do you think he'll live to regret not winning that game from 5-1 up against Chris Dobie?
Well, he might live to regret it if I do get the win over him tomorrow. I'm not one to say I'm going to smash him. We just have to see how it goes. Obviously, I'm playing my darts, and obviously he's finding a bit of form here, there, and everywhere.
Cheers, Luke. Thank you.
Luke, you mentioned there about the record against Gezi. He's probably the only player on the circuit who's got a positive record against yourself. Does that play into your mindset, and do you think it'll play into his at all?
No, I wouldn't say it's playing on my mind, because I know I've got a job to do. We've all got a job to do tomorrow, and there can only be one winner. So I'm just very confident. I can't wait to get out there in front of tens of thousands again.
You've talked a lot over the last 16 weeks about managing your schedule. You obviously made it to the O2. How much has the Premier League taken out of you over the last 16 weeks?
Yeah, obviously the start of it, obviously week 1 against Michael, there was nothing I could do there. But from there on, you've got to look at what I've done. The 90 wins, the 10 plus checkouts, the 180s. I feel like I've settled in, and obviously I cruised to the top.
How pleased are you with the consistency that you've shown, particularly towards the back end, when you could have taken your foot off the gas a bit, but you've managed to pull out those big averages and those big performances, even when they weren't necessarily needed for the league title?
Yeah, well, like I said, I could have just not stopped completely, but I could have just relaxed myself even more. But obviously, I wanted to go for all the records, and I've broken them all.
Luke, only Phil Taylor and Michael Mango have ever defended this title. What would it mean to join that exclusive group?
Yeah, it would mean everything. It's obviously my first big TV title defence tomorrow night. But for myself, you've just got to look forward to the first semi-final against Gerwin, and obviously see what happens there.
Is there a different feeling given it's your first major defence?
Right now, probably not. Tomorrow, obviously walking into the venue, practicing, there might be nerves, there might not be. But for myself, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to see tens, thousands of fans and a sold out O2 once again.
You've spoken about making sure you're in that first semi-final. Psychologically, do you think that does make a big difference?
Yeah, well, obviously last year it made a big difference. But for myself, I wanted to finish top once again. Finishing top, the semi-final comes of it once again. So I'm very happy that I'm playing that first semi-final.
Luke, just on that point there, everybody else that we speak to always say they just want to get to finals night, get in that top 4. Whereas you've always said throughout the 16 weeks, I want that first position. How important was it to be number 1? Was it just playing that first game, or was it actually say, yes, I've topped the league yet again?
Yeah, well, obviously you see it last year. Obviously Luke Humphries, he played the second semi-final. I can't quite remember the time turnaround that Luke did have. Obviously he played fantastically last year, but obviously I played that much better and obviously got the win against him. But for myself, I'll just play that first semi-final, hopefully get the win and look forward to the final.
Do you feel like at the moment that you've got an extra level that you can find that other people can't find? I mean, last year in the final it was 5-5 between you and Luke. After the break you came out, hit a 9-darter and just blew him away.
Yeah, obviously we know the breaks are in between the semi-final. If I can hit a 9 after the break again, that'll be a bonus. But the way I look at it, it's obviously first to 5, break, first to 5, break, and then, as I say, you're on to the end.
Cheers, Luke. Good luck tomorrow. Thank you.
Luke, hi.
When completing on a 9 dots finish, how do you balance muscle memory with real-time calculation? Do you have any unique aiming or grip techniques?
It's just you record. Yeah. It's just the same. As a professional, you know obviously the route to go. Some players go the standard 1-4-1 route with the treble 20, treble 19, double 12. Whereas myself, I go treble 20, treble 17, and double 15. As I like double 15 over double 12.
After the World Championship, any different change about your life and previous?
Not really. It's just being world champion. You've completed the biggest thing in world darts. But now coming into competitions as the reigning world champion, there's that little added pressure that you've got to live up to expectations.
So you inspire a lot of young people fall in love darts and start playing darts. And coincidentally, our media, most of the readers and audience are young people. Could you share some valuable idea and give some unique experience to them?
Yeah, obviously there's been, for myself and around my area, the academies, well, I've opened my own academy up where there's loads, 50, 60, 70 kids that are there playing week in, week out. But just up and down the country, the amount of academies that have opened up, and all the younger generation, they want to play darts now.
Thank you.
Luke, last week you almost broke the internet by an equipment change, and I know you laughed at it. Have you picked what equipment you're going to use tomorrow? Or are you going to use the prototype or go back to what's tried and tested in these big nights?
Yeah, obviously I've been practicing at home with them until Target give me the heads up that yeah, you can use them. We're gonna get the process ready. But I just have to see how I haven't practiced them tomorrow night. But like you said, I might have to go back to obviously the normal black ones that obviously I won with them here last year. I've won World Championships with them. But you know me, I like having a little swap and change.
You do, but every time that you chop and change, whether that be barrel or that, you always go back to that setup. Is that in the back of your mind? If it's not going right, you go back to that because you know that works.
Yeah, well, perfect example. If something's not working, then I'll go back to the basic, well, the full black setup with obviously the black K-flex with the nuke on them. So I'm not practicing well tomorrow night. I'll switch back.
Cheers, buddy. Thank you.